a bit nervous, I'm not gonna lie. So I decided, like last year, that I wanted to really have a really special time attack this year. Of course, we missed round 1 with Minty, but given that we now have it here, I thought it would be a nice idea to sort of mark the occasion with a little bit of a treat to myself. Yeah, we've got the mint lid. Look at how cool that looks, man. Good morning, gamers. It's so wet. That's what she said. But yeah, here we are. Time Attack UK, Alton Park. Last year we were here in a Praga and it was nice and sunny and lovely and the day went well and we won everything and we were the heroes. Today we're here in Minty with some big fat wet tyres on a circuit which I am told currently has a lot of standing water. Good. Now luckily for me, I was actually here last weekend in Fun Cup driving in the wet, so I sort of know my way around, but that's different. The Fun Cup has 130 horsepower and that's about it. This has treble that, quadruple that, and we've never driven it in the wet before, so we have no idea what to expect. Now in the last round as well, you might have noticed we had a few small problems, namely it got a bit toasty in the cockpit. Things have been rectified since then. We've got a different exhaust on the car. That's been done by Gav, and basically it's taken a couple of the silencers out from behind the box they're in before, and we've moved the silencer now to the outside of the car. So hopefully less hot in the cockpit. We've also installed power steering because my little weak gamer arms couldn't put up with a Mazda for more than like 5 laps before, so now it should be a hell of a lot more drivable. We also have brand new race suit to match the car because having the Kennedy hair isn't enough. I need more attention as a YouTuber. I need it all. Please look at me. I need it. So here's how the exhaust looks on the outside now. Before it was just a pipe. Now we've got this big fat silencer all along the bottom there, all wrapped as well. And the idea behind that is one less silencer, a bit more noise because it was like a vacuum cleaner at Brands Hatch. And 2, to move some of that heat away from the cockpit and to the outside of the car. You guys were very quick to tell us, and as we appreciate, that our exhaust design is pretty unconventional. I agree. This car is going to be a constant work in progress. So every round we come here, there's going to be new upgrades. We're going to try and make the best of this platform that MTech have built for us, and eventually try and fight for things like podiums. And if we're going to have a chance of a podium this year, it's probably going to be somewhere like today, where it's wet. And I've got experience of the circuit, but we'll have to see how Minty does.
I just don't think I'm going to be able to pick you out in that, that's the thing.
No, I'm not really an attention-seeking sort of person, really. I don't think so, but look at this. And now's a good chance to say that, hey guys, you like that car? You like this suit, kind of? Well, you're going to love this t-shirt.
Look at this dude right here. Look how sad he is. Do you know why he's sad? Because he only bought one Minty shirt. So yes guys, our Team 87 Minty shirt is available to buy right now, and you guys have actually picked up a ton of these so far. And I've got to say how much of a pleasure it is to see all these shirts start popping up at events. It is amazing. So if you're interested in supporting the team and helping us go racing with Minty and get something back for your money, then check out our T-Mill store. Anyway, back to the live action. Watch it. So here we are then, about to roll onto circuit in our MTech Automotive built Mint Monster here at Alton Park. New challenge for myself and for the car because it's wet on circuit. Not standing water levels of wet, but wet enough that there are still spray, and slick tyres are definitely not an option. We only ever run slicks or wet tyres on this car. There's no in between, so it's the full Hankook wets, which I've been told aren't the best in the world, and you'll see a bit more on that a little bit later on. But anyway, this reconnaissance lap is all about, well, just that, trying to find out where the slippy parts of the circuit are I'm trying to find out what I can get away with and what I can't get away with. Now, this is only a practice session, so it doesn't count for a lot. I don't have to push the car to its absolute limit, but it's good for me as a driver. I'm starting to sort of realise and understand now to just use every time on circuit as time to learn as much as possible. It's all well and good having fun and just sliding the car about, but it's not good for the ultimate lap time and sort of learning it as we go on. So right now, again, just feeling when the car's traction and where it doesn't, slowing down for the nick of it now. Now we're going up the hill for the first time. You see the car over the crest there getting very light. We've got no aerodynamics in this car, so this car does get light over the crest. So I've got to take that into account on my fast laps. And now for Druids, you see, taking a very wide line, trying to find the grip on the outside, and then again, over the crest, car gets a bit sideways, so I'm trying to keep that in the back of my head as we say goodbye to the pedal cam. That died, I think. And now we've caught up with Ilya, our good friend, Rusky World Fab. You should be subscribed to him, by the way. He owns that awesome looking Renault Clio in front. Lighter than this car, more powerful, and has aero. So the ego was pretty strong once I realised I managed to catch up with him here in the Mint car. But anyway, now coming on to our flying lap from this session, you can see they're at work hard at the wheel, up through the gears, up into 5th gear. That sound, by the way, that whining sound, isn't the gearbox, isn't the differential, that's just the wet tyres rubbing on the inside of the bodywork. Don't worry about it too much. I didn't. So Ilya gets out of our way. He's running a bit of a hot lap, or attempting to anyway. And we go down now to Cascades for the first time. This little ramp there as you go over, it can really unsettle the car. Now, it's tempting to try and take the wet line there, but there's absolutely no grip out there at all. And if you get it wrong, you go into a gravel trap. So I find it better there just to try and hook the inside and go around that way, up into 5th gear again before braking as hard as I dare to. Down to 2nd gear, heel and toe on the way down as well on this car. I don't have the auto blip set up, and I kind of like the heel and toe. It's kind of fun to do. Sue me. Anyway, back up through the hill now. You can see something that happens here. Going to 4th gear, and the car cuts out for a second. Now, that's boost cut, or we think it might be boost cut, I should say. We still haven't quite diagnosed what it is at this moment in time. But my working theory is that it's boost cut. Just something to protect the engine as it's under full load going down the straight there. So a little bit of time lost, but car's still good, lap's still on. And then big sideways there through the right-hander going up the hill. Now once I go over the crest here, pointing the wheel to the right as I counter steer as the car tries to take off to the right-hand side as we go through that fast section of the course. Now through Druids, double right-hander, middle in line there, just crossing onto the dry line there for a second. You can see I have to adjust the wheel up through the gears once more. I'm braking slightly off the line here and then coming back onto the racing line for a second as we go into Lodge Corner to complete our flying lap. It's not going to be a bad lap from us as we get a little bit sideways there. Actually, much faster than I thought for the Mint car in the wet conditions. So across the line there, not a bad lap there from me, I don't think. The car was a little bit sideways in some places, but what can you say? But I was just super happy with how the car was running. I mean, from Brands Hatch, when we had issues pretty much every session, the car went out there and ran absolutely flawlessly and was a dream to drive. I was having so much fun, in fact, that I completely forgot that I said to Gav, I'm going to come into the pit lane halfway through to check the tyres. So I come in with about 2 minutes to go. He says, well, where the hell have you been? And we check the tyres.
P2. 96, 37. Drop it quickly.
Now, unfortunately, I left it so late in the session that I wasn't able to go out and get another lap time. I wanted to get some more running time in the car anyway, just as much time on circuit as possible, which means, in the end, we ended up P2 in the Pro class.
Must be doing something right, Gav.
Yeah, these conditions, he does like them. He likes it a bit slippy.
No, I mean, you must be doing something right.
No, I don't think so. Oh, yeah, it's just luck, that.
So, only car ahead of us was an SRE, and so that means we're first in class at the moment. But it's drying up. Wah, wah. So we're in this weird position right now where there is rain forecast, but the track has dried up significantly, and we don't have like an enter. It's just like a wet tire or a dry tire. So the problem that we have now is that this car is going to be quicker in the wet, I think, because I've sort of been around here before. But in the dry, we haven't even got the pace. But we'll go ahead anyway. I mean, in the last session, we were fast in Pro class. Minty's first P1 in class, it was only a practice session, but Little bit of pride, not going to lie, especially given this car's been built for like 1 billion years now. But now we head into the next session, and I don't know, I guess it's going to be another sort of journey of discovery, because we don't really know the circuit in the dry yet. We're going to be on a slick tyre, which means no, any wet or damp surface is terrible, but hopefully it's fast. Fingers crossed.
What tyres we thinking, Gav?
Currently, it's going to be slicks, but I'm hoping for rain.
I think we all are, really, but I don't know. Maybe it'll be rapid. Who knows?
Don't know. Let's wait and see. It'd be nice to have one dry session.
Yeah.
And then wet for the final and just demolish everybody in the final.
He's more confident than I am. Bye-bye! So we've left it as late as possible to select our tyres for this session, and it's stayed dry. It's quite windy out there. Track's going to be dry, so we've gone for the slick tyres. The wet tyres are here just in case. Currently the rain is forecast right at the end of our session. So the goal now is to get out there, go fast, and try and get in the time before the rain comes. When the rain comes, we're not going to go any faster. So, guys, get the slicks on now. I'm going to get suited and see what we can do. Right, it's the qualifying time. This session matters. This session earns us points, so straight away I'm doing exactly what I did in the last session and find where the grip is, and also warm my tyres a little bit. Straight away, it's not I'm in the pit lane, so I'm just braking, accelerating hard as well, trying to get some heat into those rear tyres. You've seen before, they give me a little bit of bother on power in this thing. I'm just enjoying the fact that I'm driving this absolute monster. So warming up now, getting past the Focus ST on the right there, which I think actually had a gearbox problem at the time. Hope those guys got that fixed. Up the hill we go, and you'll get an idea now of the grip of Minty in the dry. Now I'm shifting a little bit early here, just trying to avoid the issues that I mentioned earlier with the slight cut of the boost there. Downshifting a couple of gears too many there into T1 for the first time, but it's my first time through there in slick, so I'm still learning at the moment. I'm trying to learn when to brake effectively as well. So you can see really braking quite late now down to the hairpin. Now we have no ABS in this car, so we've been quite careful both on the brakes and on the throttle there as the rear there tries to snap and bite me. And over the hill for the first time. Look at the speed of the thing up here. A little bit of a lift as I go over the rise to make sure the car doesn't spin its wheels, but the speed you're carrying through there, I wish I had a speedo on screen for you guys. It feels very fast, if, if that's anything, but at this point we're still warming up. We're still getting the car ready. I'm starting to find the temperature is in the tyres now, that everything is where it should be, and now I'm actually ready to go for a proper flying lap. So we come around the Lodge corner, stamp it a bit too hard, control the oversteer, and go on to our first flying lap. But little did I know, I was about to have my biggest moment of the weekend. So coming down the Cascades, and again, you can see really handing the car on the way in, trying to get on the throttle as quickly as possible, get the car a little bit sideways, more sideways, and just about managed to come back. Here it is again. The marshals who were standing at that post told me afterwards they had no idea how I kept that on the road. They very much thought that they were going to have to run over to me and basically drag me out of a broken Mazda. But after that I thought I'm going to come in, get my tyres checked. I didn't do that last time. Take a bit of a breather and go out again and see if I can find any more speed.
Give about half a second, mate. Yeah.
So half a second to find. All right, I can do that. Out we go. Let's try and get this lap put together properly this time. Again, we're in the qualifying session, so the points do count, so it is in my interest to do well in this session. So out we go. Tyres are already up to decent temperatures, and immediately I notice some little dots on my windscreen.
Everybody in it, spitting! Yeah.
I hate that kind of rain.
No, the Noble is quickest at the moment. By half a second.
When you say he is quickest and you get me excited.
Yeah, no, he's not. Jimmy's not quickest yet. He's second, which is okay, half a second.
So yeah, as you can see from the windscreen and from Gav there, it is starting to rain. It's starting just to mist a little bit, which Alton Park means it's about to rain pretty heavily. So I'm right, okay, on it. Let's get this lap done. So down towards T1 for the first time, carrying fourth gear. I'm throttle nice and early, aiming for that bottom on the inside, letting the car then drift to the outside, up into fifth gear. As we hurtle down towards this downhill section here, the car gets loose over the crest as we go down into Cascades now.
playing the throttle, learning from our last time through there. A little bit of oversteer, but nothing like we had before. And now hurtling down towards the hairpin. We're on the short layout here, so no island bend at the bottom. Brake just before the crest in this car. Probably brake after it if I had a bit of aero on the car, but we don't right now, so it's brake quite early. And a little bit clumsy there out of the hairpin. Quite hard to get the power down in this car sometimes, but now back onto the back straight towards the Knickerbrook chicane. We're going to brake quite a bit before the marker there. And try and run the curve both on the inside of both corners there. Trying to be nice and neat and tidy out of here. Starting to get a bit slippier as the mist is starting to lay on the circuit a bit, so I know this is my last attempt at a lap. Trying to keep it as flat as possible up here. I say that, lifting over the crest once more just to make sure we don't have any sort of wheel spin over the top there. Into Druids, I've got a car in front of me, I've got my lights on, he sees me luckily. Pulls over to the right hand side, juggle the car through there. Up into 5th gear now. Absolute rocket to drive this thing. And now braking about as late as I can down to Lodge and trying to be nice and neat and tidy here. Although the rear brakes, you can see a lot of rear locking here, so maybe the brake bias needs to come forward a little bit, but up over the rise once more and across the line. And at this point, I have no idea where we are, what sort of position we're in, but it felt like a good lap, so I tried to go for another one. As you can see on the windscreen though, the rain now starting to come down properly. Just about getting it slowed down for Knickerbrook. So I try and go into this right-hander here. Car just has no grip, slick, slide over the tarmac, and that puts an end to the session. As you can see, we won it! Kind of. We were top of qualifying, meaning full qualifying points for us, beating the 2 Evos in the slippy conditions.
Did we get him or not?
That's all right, mate.
Fucking hell.
Now, this comes now.
P1. Oh, yeah. It's not for the trophy, but that's the first classified session. First in class. Feels fucking good, man. Yeah, so it basically just pissed it down twice, pretty hard. So now we have what we want, wet conditions. The thing is, earlier I was quicker in the wet than the guys around us, but those other guys are Evos with 4-wheel drive and probably, I assume, a boost gauge they can turn up. We can't do that in this car. We're running as fast as we can all day, pretty much. Also, we've got red flags as well, so that that could be a thing that comes into play. But now that I've seen we've got the pace to win, in my head, like, that needs to happen now. Like, that's what I'm aiming for. Given where we were at Brands, like, I don't know, like a month ago, this feels completely foreign. The car's been so good today. I can't say enough good things about it. Just a couple of little small issues, which is what we want, not big issues like a Brands. And I've got a platform for me to do well, which is what we want. And it's so great seeing an MX5 next to Evo on the timesheet. I'm a bit nervous, I'm not gonna lie. See how we do.
I'm nervous. I'll be honest, I'm nervous. How are you feeling, Dad?
Fine.
Oh, alright.
Not a problem.
Cool.
We'll be all right.
Not a single
We'll be all
emotion
right.
running through those
Now
veins.
for this session, I had no idea if it was going to rain more or not, so I plonked myself right at the end of the pit lane to get out as soon as I could and get out onto a circuit which could be in the driest state it's going to be in this session. No use even risking that. So again, it had rained quite heavily between the last session and this one, so the circuit was back to full wet conditions, probably wetter than it was actually earlier on. And again, we're having to learn the track for the 3rd time today. It's why I like Time Attack, it's why I like Alton Park, always changeable conditions. And you can see down the bottom here, the car very, very slidey, especially in this right-hander as well, but just feathering the throttle out there for now. And I'm taking it easy right now. The tyres are slowly coming up a temperature, but very slowly. These tyres take a little while to come up. And coming into Druids here, again, looking to explore that outside line a little bit, down a gear. I turn in and nothing happens. And I find myself hurling towards the barrier. Luckily, The gravel stops me. I just about managed to keep the car rolling. If the car came to a stop there, that would be my session over. I would have been out of the final. Here it is again. And it looks so silly, but the car just had zero grip on those tyres for a second, and I found myself a passenger properly caught out there by the track condition. And as you can see, as I come back onto the circuit, the car is vibrating massively. The rear wheels have picked up an absolute ton of gravel and dirt and whatever, and I had to come in to get the car checked out. I went off, and it's a big vibration.
Get it all out, Dave.
So a massive shout out to the guys in the pit lane there for getting the car turned around so quickly. All that vibration turned out just to be gravel bedded into the wheels. So they got rid of all that, the car was fine, no more vibration, and back onto the circuit. Well, I said the car was fine, actually, we discovered when sort of packing away that incident, me going off into the gravel, knocked the rear left wheel fairly far out of alignment. So the car is not driving straight right now. And it might be the reason why I had a couple of traction issues. It could also be a skill issue, but I could tell something wasn't quite right when I was driving around. And I couldn't say it was that, but something felt off. But regardless, put all that to the back of your head, because we've got a task to do here. It's wet, so I don't think we're going to be able to manage to beat the Evo. Four-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive here. Four-wheel drive's always going to win. But we can beat the M3. And if we beat the M3, we can still get P2 in this event, which will be Minty's first podium, and of course second step. It's been an awesome achievement, so I'm now focusing entirely on that. Coming down now towards Knickerbrook, just one gear too many down there into second. I think I'm a bit flustered at this point because I know I'm running out of time, and I know that I need to try and get the time on the board, and the car just isn't quite performing the way I wanted to. It feels like I'm really having to wrestle it now, balancing the throttle up the hill. One more time up here now, short persisting early, one to avoid the cut from earlier, and also to avoid any wheel spin up the hill. Off the throttle, nice and early, so nice and chill with Drury's now, actually taking a bit more of an inside line, then letting the car fall out towards the end of the corner there. Track a lot wetter than it was earlier on for sure, underneath the bridge, and now only a couple more corners. He's trying to nail these at the best chance possible of beating that M3, so breaking a straight line, taking the extreme inside line here. Nice grip on exit. And now over the start-finish line. Was it good enough, though, to beat the M3? It turns out, yes, by quite some way. Absolutely smashing the M3 there by 4 seconds. But the Evo doing the same to us. 5 seconds ahead. Nothing we could do in a Little Mint Monster, but man, we got absolutely decimated by that Evo.
Yeah, it was really, really good. The car had a really good weekend, and yeah, we're stoked with P2, so we'll see what he thinks in a minute.
Grand touch, so yeah, definitely a step up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm in an odd mood because like we had a good chance of winning it if it was dry, and I think that maybe I overestimated how quick we were in the wet. There are a lot of guys out there with, you know, full drives, and this Evo guy just decimated us, which you'd expect him to do, but most of the day he's not at that pace. So I think, I don't know, I'm happy. It's the first podium of many for Mint, but also like the competitive part of me is like rah, 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 rah. I'll be good in like a few minutes. I think also I went off like on the first lap. I went same place, Druids. Just got sideways, tried to collect it. Managed to keep it like going straight, but went into the gravel, which was a bit nerve-wracking. I was thinking, like, what have you done? I can't believe you've done this already. But luckily the guys were very quick to get all the stuff out of it and get us back out there. And I think we did pretty much the pace of what the car would do in the wet around here. Well, the first of hopefully many trophies for Minty. I think we had a proper chance at winning this today. It was just a shame it rained when it did. And you know, we're rear-wheel drive. We can't work miracles. But I think it is a testament to the quality of this car. You know, we have had some issues definitely, but we worked through them, and we've got to a point now where in that last session I just drove around the entire session pretty much flat out trying to find time, and the car didn't care, loved it. But the mad thing is like we're right at the start of this car in terms of development. We're talking more power coming, aero coming, probably more handling coming as time goes on. And even in the turbo go-kart stage, we're still picking up pots. So not a bad feeling, is it? But yeah, I've got to say, this has been a really long journey for us in this car. I've had this car since 2014. I know I harp on about it, no one really cares, but I care. It's nice to see the development. You know, I've grown alongside this car over many years, and when I first started, when I first got this car, I was a bit of a shell. You know, I was a depressed uni student, and now here we are in 2023, nearly 10 years later, with a trophy at a racing event. I think that's pretty fucking sweet. And it wouldn't happen without you guys watching at home, all you patrons, of course, and the roofs that we carry around with us for every lap we do, and all the subscribers. So thank you all for letting this happen. It wouldn't happen without you, genuinely. I mean, yeah, it's mad. But I haven't really got much else to say. We're gonna take a nice picture to commemorate this, I think. We might have to make a poster out of it, I don't know yet. But just enjoy the moment, I think. Gonna put us in the car and then drink all the Prosecco on the way home. And he's driving, all right? Take care, guys. Have an awesome day. Trophy.